It's 7:42. I start on the dashboard by asking one question: what actually needs my attention? CaseShelf starts with the work that matters, not a blank form. I open today to turn the caseload into 3 useful next moves. The meeting is close, so the family input task rises automatically. From that task, I open the student's 360 view. Next, I open timeline so the evidence, contacts, meetings, and reviews are in order. I open support matrix when I need the fast staff answer, what helps, and where did it come from. Then I open staff handoff to turn the essentials into something another adult can actually use. I open team and tasks so follow-through stays attached to the student instead of disappearing into email. Review calendar brings those dates and follow UPS back into the same picture. At 9:10 I'm with a small group, so I open group session instead of opening each student one by one. I label the session once for the whole group. I choose the 2 goals we're working on. Then I enter each student's result right on the same screen. One click logs the session for both goals. After the group, I open this student's active reading goal. The target, trend, notes, and sessions stay together. I switch to data entry for today's session. I label the activity so this data still makes sense weeks later. 8 correct out of 10 opportunities, just the numbers that match this goal. A context chip adds the condition without another sentence of typing. I save the session. And the new point is immediately available on progress. Next I go to evaluations and choose run a probe. For this student, I choose oral reading fluency. If I already ran it on paper, I can just enter the totals. 84 words, 4 errors. CaseShelf calculates the scored fluency result. I can see the score before I save anything. Now I save that result as evaluation evidence. Add evaluation files it on the student's record. For qualitative evidence, I start an observation instead of opening a blank note. I tap a phrase that matches what I'm actually seeing. Quick counts take 2 taps instead of a separate tally sheet. And I add the setting once. If I need moment-by-moment evidence, I switch the same observation to go live. Each tap records a time-stamped event while I keep watching the student. Counts can be time-stamped too. When I'm done, CaseShelf turns those taps into an editable observation log. I can read the composed note before anything is saved. Then I save the observation to the student's record. With that evidence saved, I return to the student and move from collecting to writing. Later, I open the PLAAFP builder. The evidence I collected is already part of the student's story. I start with the current evidence instead of rebuilding it from memory. I open Strengths as its own guided section. A sentence frame gives me structure without pretending to write the PLAAFP for me. The language lands in an editable field, so I can make it sound like the student. The same goal data is already waiting when I open Progress Report. I choose the reporting period and review the actual data trail. CaseShelf can summarize the numbers, the professional judgment stays with me. The report is already grounded in the same data I just entered. Now I start the annual IEP from the same student record. I set the meeting context once, and the 7-step draft keeps the work organized. When I reach present level, I open that step. Load PLAAFP content pulls forward the narrative I've already reviewed. Now I'm reviewing and refining instead of retyping. An editable scaffold helps structure the next sentence. The text stays fully editable for professional judgment. At meeting time, I return to the meeting step of the same draft. Then I open meeting mode. A meeting note template gives me a clean starting structure. I add the team's actual decision right beside it. Now the run sheet and the meeting record are together on one screen. That lets me facilitate and document without splitting attention between two tools. When the meeting ends, I save and exit back to the same IEP draft. If the team changes something later, I open the smaller amendment path instead of rebuilding the annual IEP. Reason, revised sections, and local procedural steps stay together. Then I open the follow-through inbox so after meeting work has an owner. For a student on a different path, I open section 504 as its own evaluation and support workflow. Then I open MnMTSS for intervention, progress monitoring, fidelity, and team review. Back in Student 360, I can see those tracks together without pretending they're the same plan. If I'm new or stuck, I open Coach for one practical place to start and an explanation of why. I open First 30 days to turn a new caseload into a staged runway instead of a wall of expectations. On a rough day, I open Focus mode and cut the noise down to 3 things. Not today quiet's a recommendation. It never erases the real work. By 3:20, I open Sidecar as the little staff desk beside whatever I'm doing. It carries context, a useful reset, and the current student's next move. Timer, tally, interval observer, scratchpad, clipboard, and calculator are right there. When I don't need the full Sidecar, I fold it into ambient instead of letting it steal the screen. I open week to decide when to work without changing a real due date. Then I open end day for one win and one first move for tomorrow. That gives the day an ending instead of an endless backlog. I return to the dashboard knowing the live workspace underneath all of this stays encrypted locally. Backups, recovery snapshots, recently deleted records, and demo isolation protect the work. CaseShelf doesn't replace the official system. It makes the work around it coherent. I finish back at the dashboard, noticing how little I had to hunt, copy, or rebuild. A chip became a note. A data point became evidence. Evidence became writing. A meeting became follow-through. SPED 504, MnMTSS, observations, meetings, progress, and planning stay connected. The point is not more documentation. It is making the documentation you already do work harder for you. That's CaseShelf, less time rebuilding the record, more time using it.